Nomad Cosmetics has a new release, and you already know it is time for our next destination. So if you want to see what that destination is, come on in and let's start the video. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So if you're new here, welcome, and if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup, but please just call me Ash or Ashley. And it is time for our next destination with Nomad Cosmetics. And we are going to Enchanted Europe today. So this palette is so stinking gorgeous. I did receive this in PR, and I have no obligation to post, and of course all thoughts will be my own. But when I opened the package, I said, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. Like, it just screams spring, it screams magic, it's full of color. Look at the packaging. I mean, Nomad always does a theme, and they're going to carry the theme without the package, without the packaging, without the storyline of the whole color story of the palette. But this time they really knocked it out the park. So this is the Fairy Tale Europe palette. So the palette looks very similar to the packaging, to the outer packaging, but if you can see right here, we actually have the castle where it is actually raised and kind of giving that 3D effect. And then on the back right here, we have kind of like the holographic is being carried onto the back. And then this is what it looks like once you open it. And it is so gorgeous. The name of this palette is actually called Fairy Tale Europe. It is an intense color and chrome palette presented by Nomad Cosmetics. You know, Nomad Cosmetics is out of Texas, and they are vegan and cruelty free. I do not have the price point of this palette at the moment, but I think it should probably be around $45, maybe very low $50 range, but their palettes are usually like $45 or so. But when I say they knocked it out of the park, y'all, you know, usually we have like a little postcard situation. This time we have like a whole fairy tale. They wrote a whole book, okay? And so it's really giving the vibes. It's like every fairy tale, everything just kind of mixed up into one. So when you open it up, it starts with Dear Gentle Reader. Definitely giving Lady Whistledown, you know, Bridgerton vibes, you know, in a land far, far away. Definitely giving Shrek vibes. They're coming out with like a Shrek 5, and I think Zendaya is going to be it. So then we have the Once Upon a Time, you know, with the whole traditional fairy tale. And I mean, it's pages. I mean, this is just really nice. And of course, we're going to end with the happily ever after. And then on the back, we also have a little bit more information about the palette. It says the new Fairy Tale Europe palette is an intense color and chrome palette. And the palette is dazzling spectrum of princess shimmers designed for mixing and matching. And then we have balance with versatile neutrals, creating the perfect base for a sparkly look, which I cannot agree more. We have 6 light to deep mattes, 9 belle of the ball shimmers, 3 magical multi-chromes. The destination is Princess Castles, storybook settings. Once upon a time in a European land far, far away, a place full of romantic castles, storybook landscapes, and adorable woodland animals. The enchanting tales of Cinderella, Snow White, and others come to life in these magical destinations. From Alcázar de Segorbe in Spain, that originally inspired Disney, to the Sleeping Beauty castles of Skolas Nastasiawan in Germany, come up to us and explore this inspiration for your favorite fairy tale and celebrate the world of happily ever afters, okay? And then, of course, usually when Nomad does a palette, they are always supporting the cause. So for this particular palette, they are supporting UNESCO World Heritage Center, and that they are a place that actually helps, or an organization that actually helps to preserve heritage sites around the world, like the castles in Europe. So I just feel like this palette is very beautiful. It's very springtime appropriate. You know, we're like moving into that, you know, season. Although, I don't know, it's not too bad in Chicago. Like, I really can't complain. Like, today was downright cold. It wasn't even downright cold. Yesterday was colder. It was in the teens. Today it was kind of like in the teens and 20s, maybe 30s. Friday though, it was like 57 degrees, wild. And ironically, today I actually did the polar plunge. So today is Sunday, March 2nd. I did the polar plunge and I did it with my cousins. I'm going to put in a picture. And basically the polar plunge is you raise money for the Special Olympics and you plunge into Lake Michigan. And you know, Lake Michigan is very, very cold. So you can't go in too deep because like the Marine unit and the fire department and the Chicago Police Department, like the Marine and the scuba unit, they are like out there like this is the furthest you're going. But people get like costumes and they dress up. This time I wore biking shorts. Like me and my cousins, we wore biking shorts and it was like definitely a better vibe because the wet pants are not just like clinging to you. And so kind of when we got out the water, it was like, okay, our legs are already drying off. And then we had like a thermal t-shirt underneath like our regular t-shirt, because last year when we did it, it was like 45 degrees. So it wasn't as bad. And then this year, like it was 20s and 30s. I just kind of equated it to the time I went to Iceland, and you know, I went to the private lagoon. So you know, it has the blue lagoon in Iceland, it has the private lagoon in Iceland. But I went to the private lagoon, and that one doesn't have like all the bells and whistles of the blue lagoon, and my towel blew away. So literally I had to run outside all the way around in my swimsuit in Iceland winter weather to go and get another towel so I could go back in the locker room and take a shower and all that good stuff. But the lagoon was very hot and warm. But I digress. So yes. So like this is very springtime appropriate. It's giving pastels, but it's also very neutral. But you have like deep shimmers that you can kind of just do a like little smoky eye situation. Like here, or you can put this all over it. We have a black. The mattes are pretty neutral. So a lot of people are going to like the neutral mattes. I feel like it because you can kind of just play around with the shimmers any way you want to. And I feel like people are more opposed to doing like shimmers, colors with their shimmers, and especially pastels. And myself also with pastels, I would definitely rather have it as a shimmer than a matte any day. Okay, because usually pastels, especially on my complexion, or if you're deeper, they look a little ashy. But we're not giving that in this palette. We're definitely giving some nice, beautiful, springy vibes. And I just feel like it's a really fun and beautiful palette. It just kind of puts me in a very good mood. So I do have 3 looks for you. I did not talk about when the palette's going to be released. So let's go over that real quick. You know, Nomad Cosmetics always does a guessing game. So at this point, the destination has been revealed and you know where we're going. The color story has been revealed. So I slide it on the Instagram because the guessing game actually starts tomorrow, which is March 3rd. And then the destination reveal is March 7th. And today would be March 8th, basically when this video is going live. And, you have the whole color story reveal. But the palette actually is going to launch Tuesday, March 11th, usually around 12:01 a.m. Eastern. So they usually do launch. So if you're in Central Time Zone, so basically that would be, for us, that would be the 10th, Monday the 10th, because we're that hour behind and following with the other time zones as well. So, you know, just kind of go backwards from there. But let's go ahead and get started with these looks. And of course, you know, I'm going to talk about how I feel about the palette along the way. So let's get started. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with this beautiful, beautiful palette. So my eyebrows are already filled in using my usual suspects. So if you are new here, that would be the Goof pencil, shade 3.75 by Benefit Cosmetics. I did go in with a little bit of, what is this called? Precisely My Brow Wax, okay? This is shade 2.75. And I am primed with my MAC Contemplative State. This is a paint pot. Shade Contemplative State. It is the perfect shade. As you can see, it's like exactly my skin complexion. So let's go ahead and get started with some.
When I go with confidence, when I go with roll our hips and take a sip on it, take a trip on it. When I go, you can go slow, wind it up all night. Baby, take your time, let me know I want. When you turn me around, when the neighbors yell turn down, we keep it going, like bum bum bum. Throw it back then, like we could do. Oh, you made me feel like we could do it all over again, all over again. Don't you? Yeah, you made me feel like we could do. Oh, you made me feel like we could do it all over again, all over again. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Sounding like your ice in the wristline. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Sounding like your ice in the wristline. Sounding like your ice in the wristline. Bum, 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 bum. When I go with confidence, when I go we roll our hips and take a sip on it, take a trip on it. When I go, you can go slow. Wind it up all night, baby, take your time. Let me know I want. When you turn me around, I want. When the neighbors yell turn down, we keep it going. Like bum bum bum. Throw it back then rotation. Cigarettes in the season. Shine bright as that season. Girl, you know you are a jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam.
All right, I am back, and here are the first two looks. They are so simple. Well, I mean, we have a lot of color going on over here that just kind of giving like peacock vibes, very whimsical, and then over here is kind of giving, well, I think this side is really probably, okay. All right, I am back, and here are the first two looks, and they are just so gorgeous, so beautiful, and the shimmers just really speak for itself. Like the palette is very shimmer heavy. You know, you have like the more neutral leading mattes, and you just pop them in the crease, and then you just kind of let the shimmers do like all the work. So over here we have beautiful, you know, kind of peacocky vibes over here, and it's so funny because I was just talking about in the Blend Bunny Beauty Below video that like kind of like turquoises and things like that was a shade that I was not so much gravitated towards anymore, but here I am using it. And it's very pretty right here. I basically just said that, you know, it's a shade that I used to use a lot back in the day. And now I'm not like so in love with it per se. But I would say it's very beautiful mixed with the yellow and mixed with the blue. And I just kind of wanted to have like that standout moment with the blue, which I think is really pretty as kind of like the outer V color, kind of just anchoring down the look versus using the deepest matte in the palette. Now, I felt like the mattes were really, really pretty. They're really buttery, soft. So I do feel like you need to be careful when you're picking up the mattes just so you don't get a whole lot of kick up. But I went ahead and used, let's see, this is a Chateau de Chambord right here, and then mixed it in with this kind of like a muted kind of grayish green, which would actually pair really nice. It just kind of gave a nice little setup, nice little hint of like, you know, kind of structuring the look. And then, but you did get pretty good payoff with those shadows, I felt like. And then, of course, the brown shade over here, this chocolate brown shade is such a gorgeous shade. You can sheer it out. You can kind of build it up. So you have a lot of options right there. And then even with going in with Chateau Castle, just to kind of like buff out the edges, just to soften it up. And the shimmers are really gorgeous. I definitely feel like, you know, it's a softer formula, but it's still a vibrant formula. Some shades are a little bit smoother than others. So like the shade right here where we have Prince Charming, that's kind of like this old gold type of shade right here. It definitely has like a lot of mica, so a lot of slip, and it would be the same thing with this shade in right here, this kind of like dual chrome shade right here, Snow White. Very like iridescent, lots of slip, lots of shine, high volume when you go ahead and put it in your eyes. But I just love how both of these look. Like the shimmers in this palette, they're very beautiful. Nomad always does pretty beautiful shimmers. But so they're kind of like for the person that, you know, I usually go for a really bold shimmer. So I feel like this is bold, but still like a little bit more toned down for people who don't want something so in your face, but can still have like those colorful moments where it's just not too much, but just enough. But I really love how everything came out. And for my face details, I went ahead and used my McGrath Foundation. I have the shade Medium Deep 22, paired it with my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer. This is like one of my favorite concealers. I do need to get like a little lighter shade sometimes when I want like a little brighter under eye, but this is perfect. This is shade 11. And then I went ahead and used my e.l.f. Camo Bronzer, and I have the shade Medium Intense, or Deep Intense rather. And then I paired it with my, this is the Glaminatrix Cosmetics, and I do have a code with Glaminatrix Cosmetics, and this is their cheek and lip flush. So it's like basically a cream. You can do it on your lips, which I did put on my lips, and you can do it on the cheeks. So I wore both, and this is the shade Kind. I feel like it's like a perfect match with basically the vibe they have going on. Very springy vibes, and matches my shirt to a T. So I just went ahead and paired it with like like I digged in the crates for this. This is a lip liner by ColourPop. I wouldn't say this. Oh, this is called Leather. So this is kind of like a purple shade, and I just paired the, the lip stain in the middle. Really, really pretty. And then my lashes are my Z-Gain lashes. These are my brown cat eyelashes that I like so much because, like I always say, they're just like fun. They're flirty. They're dramatic, but it doesn't do too much. But it just gives like that right volume. So this is the look. Oh, and of course I use my favorite highlighter that I'm definitely just trying to use up. So let me go ahead and, unfortunately, we got to wipe this off, and we're going to come back with another look. I just love this shade. It's such an interesting color. It's like green. It's like gray. It's just, I love it. I just had to come on and say that.
You show me beauty and life. You put me first all the time. No wonder I'm on a high when I'm with you. When I'm with you, oh yeah. You like the things that I like. If you don't know, you always give it a try. No one can blame me for crying when I'm without you, when I'm without you, yeah. Know you got dreams of your own, sure you got places to go, but I just want you alone, oh yeah, yeah. I know it's hard to be you, all the things you need to do, but baby, it's hard for me too. Oh yeah, yeah. Mayday, Mayday, is there anybody who can help?
All right, I am back, and here is the third and final look, and I just think it came out so beautiful. It's smoky. It's just mystical. The shimmers just look so good on the eyelids. They lay down beautifully. It's just like they look buttery. They look smooth. They shine. It just gives a nice, beautiful glow to your eyelids. And I love the contrast of the silver with the purple. And this purple shade is kind of like reminds me of a holochrome, but not quite a holochrome. So it's not super intense. And that's the shade Sleeping Beauty. So that is it's definitely a multi-chrome situation, but it kind of has that small feel of like a holochrome. But if you're a person that doesn't like those big kind of flakes and sparkles in there, you can kind of rest assured that this is just very smooth. It's very easy, and the specs are just like, or the sparkle is just kind of very subdued, but you still definitely get that wow factor with the shadow. This shadow is very smooth, kind of like with the other multi-chromes like Snow White and Prince Charming. Here's Snow White and Prince Charming. And then also very smooth also is, this is Magic, okay, it must be Magic Spell. And Magic Spell is just gorgeous. I just could not help myself but to have this in the outer corner. I feel like it just really provided like kind of like a lighter, smokier I. And these gray shades have just been so beautiful. So I actually pulled out a couple of palettes that, you know, these gray shades have like kind of made an appearance in with these shimmers. So the first one I pulled out is the Adept Cosmetics. This is the Minka palette, the Minka Remaster palette, and it just came out. I did go ahead, if you think it looks, well, if you think, I know it is a little different. I did add that old shade from the first Minka palette that was like kind of a blue shift shade. I popped it in here. But we have the shade Anna. So Anna was the shade I wanted to show kind of in reference to the shade Magic Spell. So right here we have Anna, and you know I love shades like this. Like shades like this is so up my alley. And then we also have the Beauty Below. This just came out by Billy Bunny Cosmetics. And we kind of have like two shades in here that are kind of similar to, so I want to say I'm going to pick up Curse because I feel like Curse is the closest of the two. And then we also have this one right here, but I'll swatch both, okay? So we have Cursed. So Cursed is definitely deeper. So maybe, yeah, Deadly Fate might actually be closer. So then we have Deadly Fate up here. Maybe not. They're definitely like deeper in the Blend Buddy palette. So these are the two from the Blend Buddy palette, and this is the shade Anna. So Anna, the one from Adept is probably the closest, but I feel like adding in that shade just gave an extra element and gave this palette like a lot of depth and range that you're not going to get, you know, with the other shades or just other like kind of pastel-y palettes, because it's kind of pastel but neutral, but because it's the shimmers are the pastel focus, it really does kind of work out for all skin complexions. So this is Magic Spell. So yeah, definitely Magic Spell is probably the closest to the one from the Adept Cosmetics palette. Let's see. Very, very beautiful shades. Okay, the last two swatches are like just okay, because swatching with your pinky finger, not always recommended, but very much in the same color family. So I was happy to see that shade. And like I said, it just gives the palette that extra dimension for sure, where you can kind of use it to, like I said, deepen the look. You don't have to always rely on the dark shimmer. The dark matte, which is going to be, what is it, Chilean Castle. Now, I did not dip into this black, but I do want to definitely plan on creating some more looks with this. This shade is just so interesting to me because it's like I said, it's like a gray, it's like a green, but all the mattes are really pretty. So I definitely feel like you can get some use out of these particular shades, just kind of help buff out this particular shade. You can set up the crease. And then it's like some transitions for you also if you are of a lighter complexion. So I feel like they did a really good job with the mattes. The mattes are really buttery. They're very smooth, very blendable, and go on really easily. And then I also feel like the color selection is really nice because inherently the palette is very colorful, but the mattes are neutral. So I feel like this is like a safe zone palette. You can get a lot of colorful looks, or you can just put your neutrals and then rely on your shimmer to kind of give you that little pop. So it's kind of like in a safe space for a lot of people because it's giving you the color, but it's giving you with the shimmer. A lot of people are sometimes more inclined to do the color with the shimmer versus like different colorful mattes. Also because it's very pastel, it's very whimsical feeling with it, but because it's with the shimmers, it's also going to look better on individuals who are a deeper skin complexion because those mattes are definitely going to help anchor it. And then you also have like the deeper mattes like Magic Spell, and then we have our blue, the Snow Queen, and even the purple here. So it does give a couple options plus this and this, which can run pretty deep just depending on how you keep building that shade out. Or like you could just kind of get a nice medium tone brown where you just keep blending it out. So overall, I really do like this palette. It is super gorgeous. The theme is so on point, and I feel like they just executed it so well. By like when I opened up this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous, gorgeous. And you have like the holographic with it, effect in it, and then like the whole storybook situation, and we got like an actual written fairy tale. So this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous springtime release. Like I feel like this is just something that they have not done before, and they have definitely knocked it out the park. So you got to let me know what your favorite look is. This by far It's my favorite look. It's so gorgeous. And then I would actually say, I don't know. The other first two, I really enjoyed that first look with the shade that I'm not so much gravitating towards, as I kind of explained, which is the Love Story. But it's just it was a gorgeous shade, but mixed in with the purples and the blues and the gold and the pink, it just kind of all came together and looked really great. And let me know if you plan on picking up this palette. I do have a code once again with Nomad Cosmetics. It's Dr. Ash. It's not an affiliate code, but you could definitely use it to save yourself some money. And then leave me a comment down below and give this video a big up thumbs up and hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because you know I love to have you here in this makeup family. And with that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the chair dance. Chair dance. Hey, 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 chair dance. Chair dance. All right, y'all. Bye.